Hi, I'm Sister Simone Campbell. I'm the Executive Director of Network, Lobby for Catholic Social Justice, and leader of Nuns on the Bus. And welcome to Iowa. Today we are in Iowa City at the Center for Worker Justice of Eastern Iowa. And we are excited to have this conversation because it's about the real life experience of low wage workers in Eastern Iowa and all of the work that's being done to address their needs. So let's bring on the members of the center. Great, welcome, bienvenida. Thank you so much. We're really grateful for your presence today. Just for our listeners, some of this will be in Spanish and will be translated, and some in English. But I think we can manage this. It'll be good. But Mazahir, let's start with you because you're the leader of this amazing operation at this moment. Can you talk a little bit about the Center for Worker Justice and some of the challenges that you're facing right now in the COVID-19 reality?
Sure. My name is Mazahir Saleh, as she said. I'm the interim director of the Center for Worker Justice, and also I'm a founder member of the Center for Worker Justice. I will go through this slideshow to speak a little bit about, what we do and when did we found and what our mission is. So we're going to start the slideshow. Okay, this is our logo for the Center for Worker Justice. Can we go to the next slide, please? Okay, the Center for Worker Justice found back in 2012 by immigrants and low-wage workers from Iowa and from another different organization. I remember it was 18 different organizations. And those people, they call themselves Immigrant Voice Project in the beginning, and together they found the Center for Worker Justice back in 2012. Next. Okay, what our mission is, the Center for Worker Justice unite low-wage workers in Eastern Iowa across race and immigration status to achieve social and economic justice through education, organization, direct service, and community allies. We seek to improve Eastern Iowa by coordinating projects to address injustice in the area, such as workplace, condition, civil rights, access to education, and need of affordable housing. Next. During the past 8 years, we had a lot of victories. One of those victories is a community ID. A community ID is non-government ID for the people who cannot obtain a government ID. And the people who cannot obtain a government ID is like really different people. It could be people who lost their identity, like documentation on natural disaster, elderly people who give up driving, they don't want to have driver license anymore, and also like some people, who cannot just have the necessary document to go and apply for the government ID. We done a survey and we find out there is a lot of people they cannot obtain a government ID, and that will lead for those workers really a lot problem where they can be stopped by the police, and if you identify yourself, usually the police will take you to the jail and take your fingerprint, and they send this fingerprint to ICE, and ICE will ask you to hold, they will ask the jail to hold that person, and this way we separated family. That's why we come up with the idea to have identification for all the people. And as you see here, we went to the county and we proposed that to have community ID at the Johnson County level. And we passed that. For years now, this is really improving the relationship between minority and the local enforcement in the area. People start identifying that they don't face any problem. They use this ID to obtain medication, to open bank account, and just to simply identify yourself. And this is really great. And we ask all the people on the community in IOCT to have it so we can normalize, even if they can, IOCT, Johnson County resident, if they can also obtain government ID, they still can get this one. So if they use it, it will be normal for the other people who needed to use it. It was a very successful campaign, one of the first community ID on the Midwest.
That's fabulous. That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you. Next slide.
I see one of the participants holding up their ID. Fabulous. Thank you so much.
Yes. Right. The other victory we have, the next one was a minimum wage. You know that. Now, I always tell this story. When I came to this country back on 1997, the minimum, I started working at McDonald's as a cashier. And at that time, they pay me $5.25. This is 22 years later, I guess, or 23 years later. The minimum wage is still only $7.25. On 23 years, the minimum wage has increased only $2. This is not okay. And we start this campaign by fighting nationwide for Fight for 15. We joined that Fight for 15 in the beginning. And after that, we just proposed to the county to increase the minimum wage to, some kind of livable wage. The livable wage is $15 an hour at that time, but the county decided to give us like $10 an hour, and they increase it every year. And it was 10, but the 10 did not implement like once. It was 6 months, 95 cents. And for they increased it 3 times until on, I guess, 2017, January, it kicked on the 10 an hour for all the county. Of course, it was a great opportunity for all the people. It's not the greatest, wages, because it's supposed to be $15 an hour, but we saw this is one step to move forward. Would you please go to the next slide?
Oops, too far.
No, back to... Yes. Back. Yes. And after we were very excited that the minimum wage was 10, suddenly the legislator at Des Moines, at the state level, they decided to take that from us. And they just said no county can, increase the minimum wage by themselves. And we said, no, we are not going to just keep silent like this. We have to do something about this. Our people go back one slide, please. Our people are really, fought for this very hard. And we decided to come up with this idea. We create this poster, this blue poster. It say I support the county minimum wage, 10, moving this community forward together. And we start reaching out to all the businesses saying that, hey, you already have 10 in place. And now the state said, no, you don't have, the county cannot do that, but you are there, you're still existing, you're still making profit. So can you please keep paying 10? And if they pledge to do that, we give them this, poster so they can put it on their window. And this way we advertise them in our also website, and we just call on all the people to go and shop there, eat there, do something there, because those people are really treating workers right, and they give them 10 an hours. And that was a very successful campaign. Just in Iowa City, we signed up over 165 businesses who committed voluntarily to keep paying the county minimum wage 10, regardless what's happening in Des Moines.
Wow, that's great. Fabulous.
Yeah. Next slide. Yeah, the Wake Theft is an ongoing campaign. In the beginning, when we started the CWJ, I don't think people know about Wake Theft in the community. They never knew that employer could steal people money, their employees' money. So until CWJ came and those people start coming to us and tell us they work there, they done their part, but they never get paid. And Wake Theft could be not paying overtime, not paying the minimum wage, not misclassification, like where you work as a hourly, but they classify you as independent contractor. We accept it can come many times, and we have a lot of people coming here. Just talking about we accept. We just now just like this week we have 5 cases that we are working on them, and even during pandemic, people is still stealing people money. We recover over 103,000 during this past 8 years for unpaid wages for a lot of people.
Whoa, that's amazing. $103,000?
Yes,
Wow.
and how we do this? We don't go to lawyer, we don't hire lawyer, but we just do it like basically when somebody come and say, I have this, I worked in this place and I never get paid. We collected all the necessary documentation that will prove what they said. We'll pick up the phone and just talk to the employer and tell them the situation and ask them to correct it. Sometimes if they know who is CWJ, they will do it very fast. If not, we need to go to escalate the problem. And I always just like put a delegation together from the community, but on that delegation will be a board of supervisors, a city council, maybe state representative if we can find them, and and also some just allies from the community, labor representative and union representative, with of course some churches people like pastor. Well, I mean like people who are well respected on the community, with with along with the worker, and we go to that restaurant, for example, if that was on the restaurant, because that's happening a lot of time for the restaurant. We go during the peak hours. We go there during the lunch time where a lot of people is there. And we just say we need to see the manager. In the beginning, they think that we came to eat as a group, but we will say we need the manager, and we just start talking about them, and we will demand. Everybody would talk about from their own perspective, and how they think this is not good. And after that, we deliver a letter and we demand that this person to get paid in 7 days. Otherwise, we escalate it even more.
Wow.
Our next step, most of the time, things will end here. But sometimes we need to escalate more, where we will just have a protest in front of the restaurants, bringing the press and sending a press release. And this way we escalate things. Most of the time, people doesn't like that. So we don't do this a lot. But if it needed, we will go to that level of escalation. And also that we can file at the same time, as soon as we protesting, we will file a complaint with the Iowa Department of Labor. Just Iowa Department of Labor, they have only one investigator to investigate. That's the last time I know. Maybe they have more now, but my information maybe is wrong. But they have only one investigator to investigate the 99 county for the wage theft in Iowa, which is not enough. And interestingly, one of the wage theft case, she came in and I asked her, how did you hear about us? She said she was contacting Iowa Department of Labor, and they asked her to contact the Center for Worker Justice. So we're doing the work for a lot for them. So, I guess we just community pressure is great to recover wage theft. And I think we're being very successful in recovering over 103.
That's
Next.
fabulous.
Yeah, those some people those some people really get their checks. But now I guess I would turn it to Myra to continue with Forest View.
So the Forest View Tenants Association is an association from mobile home residents in Iowa City, and it's a community called Forest View. And I've had the pleasure to work with the board of that association, and also Margarita, the participant here, is the vice president of that. But just wanted to talk about how where it came from and what it is. So I think there's about like 10 members of the board who came together after the mobile home community that they lived in was sold without their knowledge, without them having any say in it. And so they organized and formed a tenant association to have a say in the process and to be involved in what the decisions and the future really of their community. Next slide, please. And so here, there's some of the meetings at the, go one back, please. So here was, I think, the very beginning of it all, when the developers were speaking to the residents about the project, and the residents being very involved in what was going on, all the decisions. But unfortunately, the development has been stalled. So right now, next slide, please. So right now, because the development has been stalled, a lot of the homes are in very dire need of repairs. But because of the uncertainty of the situation, the residents are not sure, whether to spend $2,000 on their home that may be, moved or demolished or something next year. But the problem is that a lot of these homes are older and they need repairs, and Iowa winters are pretty harsh. So what we've done this recently is we've had repair weekends where completely on a volunteer basis, several of the unions, like labor unions around the state, have come together and worked on the most important and crucial repairs that these homes need, like roofing repairs or plumbing, electrical, stuff like that, that will keep them all put together for another winter, in hopes that by next year the development will proceed. So here's a picture of our last repairs weekend, when we had several volunteers coming and doing all of this completely free, and just the time that they wanted to put in. And also we were able to repair at least 12 homes that weekend. And we have another weekend the 3rd and 4th of October to do another round of repairs. Next slide. And here is also when the development first was brought to the council, and you have here some of the residents coming and speaking on behalf of it, because they were able to negotiate with the developers to include and to have union jobs work. So this is at the council meeting, I can't say, like 4 years ago, with the residents speaking to the council. Next slide. And then immigration. So the CWJ is very involved in immigration issues, and there's different organizations that have come together, and we have members and allies who are very involved in the immigration actions that we do at the center. And what we've been able to do is we've been able to work with the University of Iowa's legal clinic. Also, we formed a rapid response committee that would be ready to assemble quickly in cases of raids or detainments of immigrants, because we wanted to be there to witness and to be there to support, to tell people, know your rights, sort of information if this was ever to happen, to put community pressure. Also, we're able to put together a committee that was a immigrant family support group that would offer several different services, like rides, or if somebody needed a bed or a mattress, we were able to help them get that. And also, we were able to help another organization start up to do detention visitations for people in immigration detention, to kind of be that connection between the outside world and them, to see exactly, what is going on behind the scenes, where people are not allowed to see. Next slide. And yep, these are from other actions that we did in relation to immigration, keeping families together. There was several actions in front of like the Senator Grassley's and Joni Ernst's offices. And yeah, next slide.
Okay. Yeah, this is also like some of our, another training that we do and campaign. We have this sewing class where we had a grant that to buy a sewing machine. So for the people who really have that talent and they want to learn how to do it, and eventually, yes, some of them they want to open their own businesses for that. So we bought those machines and we give it to them for free if they continue the whole class, which is for the 20 people that we had, and it was really great opportunity. Also, we have another class like Know Your Right training. We have English classes like ESL, and we do some kind of like summer activity, and yeah, Know Your Right training, those kind of classes. Yeah. Next slide, please. Yeah, I guess as you know that there is this, like hurricane came to Iowa and a lot of people affected. So we try also to help those people by, connect them to organizations that they can help. And also we have like, if they apply for some of our fund, we give them, I guess later on, maybe you can also talk a little bit about this because this is hit Cedar Rapids very hard, and our immigrant people they are really suffered and they can't find a place to stay. And BU was very active on reaching out to those immigrant community, either to provide them with like some basic needs or refer them to organization who can do that. Yes,
Great.
next slide, please. And my home to your home, I guess Marcelo will talk about this more as a solution for some crisis for workers. But I'm gonna just highlight it. This is one of our like really fabulous campaign during crisis. It is a campaign that we created after we hear that the government have a stimulus check to the people, but we know that there is a lot of people are not eligible for the government stimulus check, especially undocumented people in the community, and also like people who are not like for a lot of immigrants for certain reason. So we come up with this idea where we can just help those people by asking our caring and neighbor and allies to donate their stimulus check. And I guess I don't want to talk a lot about this because Marcelo will talk about it later. But this is like huge help for our community, like from the community to we raised like over $100,000 to help over 240 family to begin with, and we went up to more than that.
Don't take away all of her stories. So
Exactly. That's why I'm gonna just go very quick on this and go just to go to the second slide, and I guess we're done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wow. All right, so we have a really good idea of what the center is about, and it seems like you're about really meeting the needs of the people, and that if there's a need, you try to respond. So it's way more than a labor center, as we ordinarily hear. And so maybe we can just take some time and hear from each of our guests about what their work is, what their experience is, and what matters in this work. And then we'll have a general conversation if we still have some time. And since we were just talking about the derecho, Bijou, do you want to pick up the story and tell us tell people what the derecho is, because folks that weren't in Iowa might not know. And then I'd be really interested to hear your responses.
Hi, my name is Bijou, and I volunteer at the Center for Worker Justice. I've been volunteering for a while now, and great place to be because they have in different ways. That's how I find out, and I wanted to be involved because they touch every area in the community. The roadshow is the storm that happened on August 10th and August 11th. It's a storm that came in Iowa City, in Iowa, and hit very hard in Cedar Rapids. I believe Mara or Mazahir can send you guys pictures about the damages to what really happened. It hit Iowa City as well, but not as bad as Cedar Rapids. There's a lot of people that lost their homes.
Oh, wow.
Cars, people were sleeping in their cars, people were sleeping outside. If you see Cedar Rapids now, it's completely different than before, August 10th. So we decided to hop on, as you know, Center for Worker Justice. Every time there's a need, you want to go and join and hop on and help. So we decided to go help and see what their needs were. We went around, actually went the first time by myself, and I just went around to see who to reach out first. And we went in different places. In the southwest of Cedar Rapids was very bad hit. It was hit very badly. And that there's a majority of immigrants live there. So most of them lived in their car. Some of them were outside, just not even in a tent, like they were outside on the grass and everything else. So we asked, because of the language barrier, they didn't know where to find help, or they didn't know who could help them. And I speak 5 languages, so it was easy for me to communicate.
Which 5? Can I ask which 5 do you speak?
So I speak French, I speak Swahili, I speak Lingala, I speak Kirega, and then I speak English.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm able to communicate in with different immigrants and refugees from different countries. I met them outside. Everybody was outside. Some people were cooking outside. We asked them what do they need, and they gave us a list of things that they've lost beside their home. I brought it to the Center for Worker Justice. We figured out with another lady, her name is Leanne. She wanted to volunteer as well. So we started going and put it on social media and contacting different churches, and they were giving us stuff. They start giving us essentials such as soap, food, a lot of food, clothes, a lot of things. So we decided we had vans. We used the Center for Worker Justice van that was full every day. We'll send you pictures. And we went to other different organizations in Cedar Rapids that actually were based downtown and wanted people to come to them. The problem was these immigrants and refugees didn't have ways to get there. So we decided to go to them. That was our mission, was to bring the stuff to them because they didn't have a way and there was no communication because of the language. So we took a lot of stuff and we served over 200 families, 200 people, I'm sorry, 58 families and 200 people, over 200 people for over a month or so. Is that a month, Mara? Since the 10th of August, yes. And we're still helping. The Center for Worker Justice is still helping. Besides donation from different churches, the Center for Worker Justice has provided help as well, financially and everything else. So we continue to help the one that's still in need. And Zubeda, actually, she's one of the affected one.
Oh, we need Zubeda's story. Zubeda, are you there? Can you turn your camera on, or can you? Ah, there you are. Good. Zubeda, can you tell us? This experience must have been scary. Oh my heavens.
Yeah, it was a lot of stuff going on. So we had this storm. Actually, that Bijou came to help us a lot. She really did a lot of help. Because on the southwest side, the storm hit a lot. Though some kids was playing outside and they put one house on the fire.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was a lot going on and she helped a lot. So we really thank her because she did a lot of help. So it was a lot going on that side. But
Yeah, it sounds like it was um, really hard time.
yeah,
Are you living with your family or what's your situation?
living with my
I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
Her internet service is coming in and out. She
Coming
texted
in.
me
Yeah.
and told me, yeah, she has a bad service, but she's living with her mother because they lost their home. So yeah, so the what's going on right now, because the government has assistance, but they're slowly not. They're helping, but slowly not there yet. So people that have lost their home will live with the neighbors, or will live with family member that have known, or other community member that actually take them. So right now she's living with her mother, who actually also had damages in that home, but not as bad as what she's experienced. We have people that have been sick because of the derecho, and they don't know what to do. Some were living outside in tents, but right now they put him, with other family members. So I think right now you still live with your mom, right?
yeah, I am, and the living with us because they got fired. So they didn't have anywhere to go. We start living with them.
Yeah. So the
Oh, thank
building got on fire as well. After the
Wow. Oh
storm,
my
the building ended up getting on fire as well because the electrical problems.
God.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Kamel, I've seen you nodding your head, so I think you know something about this too. Is that true? Could you tell us your story? Unmute yourself and tell us what you know.
Hi, everybody here. My name is Camille Yassir. Actually, I'm from Iowa City. Migrant from Sudan. I'm citizen. Also, I'm start here. I'm member with the Center of Worker Justice since 2015. I work with the Center of Worker Justice volunteer. Now I am board member, vice president, the board member. Center of Worker Justice work very hard to help people to stand together as a community. Doesn't matter Mexico, Sudanese, African, American, whatever. You standing together to help the people to go to be united. Because if you be doesn't be united, you cannot work together.
Ah.
Yeah. And the second thing I need to talk about is the social enterprise.
Before Camille, before you go into that, and just to finish this one, yeah, Camille will talk about that. But I just want to highlight to add to what Biju said, so I don't want to like really miss this. I want to highlight that we work always with a lot of allies in the communities, like group or unions or laborers, and I just want to highlight that Mr. Hor play like a huge part. That the Mr.'s unions play a huge part on this helping people of Cedar Rapids by opening their hall and bringing all this kind of food and donations and blankets and everything else need that the people of Cedar Rapids need. So they open their hall, and we was referring people. They really done great job in responding to this crisis in Cedar Rapids. I just want to highlight that, so don't miss, because it was really they play a huge part on that. Yeah, and Kamish, you can go now and talk about the social enterprise. Yeah.
Thanks, Mezahir, for
Yeah.
clarifying. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, come on.
The social enterprise that we started together here at the Center of Worker Justice, a migrant has many opportunity and also have experience to work together. We have a mini chief here, Latino, Sudanese, all people work together, Jamaican, African. We cook for the holiday days to help people, volunteers get the material. Center of Worker Justice help to get the material from the market, and after that, cooking. For example, Labor Day, we're cooking in the bar to get the people together and enjoying together, and that's something will get the people unity, as I said before. From there, we get the idea those chiefs, why you not make program for him to be coming together? Because it's low income, nobody can open on our business. It's amazing people cooking, but no opportunity having come to open the rest on our business. We starting here to with the church. Church will help us to give our kitchen and to cook in the kitchen there and invite the people before 1 week or 2 weeks. The people come in, and after that we ask people for the donation, because we need to cover the food or the material we get it from the market, or the Center for Worker Justice give that, like we buy the material. uh, After that we thinking about the social enterprise to get our restaurant, to get all member in the one restaurant cooking in the city, like the center of the city, and make that big restaurant and making come for those people. And after that we can each body open our business, because from there we can make income and make some money to start and achieve our goals, and step by step until the final step. And that will be a cycle. After that we get another people to engage the people in the community. But
Fabulous.
the problem, the fund,
Ah,
we support to get idea. Now we have step one, we have now in front of us the restaurant for the selling in the market. The guy asking about the money, but he doesn't have that. We need support. We need
yep.
support, because
That's,
when we support one, we cannot support. We support all of people. Thank you,
well,
everyone.
that's really important. Support makes all the difference, and that is the piece. You've got the people to do the work. You've got the design. Now you just need what we call the capital, the money,
Yes,
to make it possible. All
yes,
right.
thank you.
Yeah.
People listening in, they need the money to make it possible. All right.
Mhm.
We'll see what we can, if we can help a little bit. All right.
I guess just to add to what Carmel said, they are really talented immigrants who can cook, and if they open a restaurant today, they will make a lot of profit because their food is tasty. The only thing, as he said, nobody can open a restaurant by themselves because they don't have the financials for that.
Oh,
But
totally.
the ultimate
Totally.
goal is to employee on a restaurant for all those group who cooking right now and introduces their food to the community. But yes, like especially before COVID, they, as Carmen said, they just cook this amazing Mexican, Sudanese, and Latinx food, and we invite the people to come and eat. And of course, we are not selling it; we just donating the food, but people put donation to
Good.
cover the cost of the food. But this is amazing, and hopefully they will make their dream come true.
Well, one of the places where we were on when we were on the actual bus in Los Angeles, we stopped where one of my religious community works, and she had created a mercado where it was designed so people could open their own small shops and restaurants right near office buildings, so that people would come at noontime and get their lunch. And
Wow,
so that kind of thing, it
we
works,
need
but
to
you need the
learn all
money.
about
You
Yeah.
need
this.
the money. I hear you. I hear
Yes.
you.
I,
Okay, now
I
we
hope
have,
next time we see you there with the bus in Iowa City.
I love it.
I'm gonna
Okay,
cook.
I will look forward to it.
Yeah.
Okay, Margarita and Marcela, they are, I understand, okay, I'll say it in Spanish first. Principalmente se habla en español, pero Myra va a traducir para ustedes. Okay, so Margarita and Marcela principally speak Spanish, but Myra is going to be the translator for us. So let's start with you, Margarita. How are you connected to the center? What is your story?
Margarita, hay que empezar con usted. ¿Cómo está conectada al centro? ¿Cuál es su historia?
Sí, buenas tardes a todos.
Buenas tardes.
Bueno, yo comencé, bueno, con la historia de mi vecindario, pero antes de nada, bueno, soy, una madre soltera con una hija que está en la primaria, que es lo que más amo, y por eso es que hago yo todo esto, porque también quiero transmitirle a mi hija que debemos de luchar por mejorar nuestras vidas y también luchar para ayudar a los demás. No solamente es para uno, sino para todos los demás.
Ok, momentito, Mayra va a traducir para nosotros.
So, good afternoon. First of all, I want to start off by saying I am a single mom of a beautiful young elementary age daughter. And the way that I'm connected to the center is, I wanted to tell my daughter and show my daughter that it's the way to how to better our lives, but not only better our lives, but also better those of the people around us.
Bueno.
También yo soy una persona muy activa en mi iglesia, la iglesia San Patricio. Estoy en un grupo que se llama el grupo carismático. Y yo comencé más que nada, me involucré más. Había escuchado yo del centro, pero me involucré más hace 5 años en el centro, cuando nos enteramos de que nuestro vecindario había sido vendido. El terreno había sido vendido.
So I am very active in my church. My church is St. Patrick's. I'm also active in a group called Charismatic. I had heard of CWJ about 5 years ago when my mobile home community was sold to new developers.
Y como yo amo mucho mi vecindario, es el lugar donde yo puedo pagar mi renta, mis biles. Trabajo en un restaurante tiempo completo y es el único lugar donde yo puedo pagar. Entonces, cuando nos enteramos que habían vendido este lugar, fue una sorpresa para todos. Las personas no estaban enteradas. Entonces, comenzamos a repartir volantes, a tocar puertas, nos organizamos y formamos nuestra asociación.
So I love the community I live in. This is a place where I can pay my rent and bills. I am a full-time restaurant worker, and this is the only place that I can live. But so it was a very surprising to us all when we found out that our community was sold, and that is when we started to organize. We started to distribute flyers, knock on doors, tell people what was going on.
How many people are in your community at the trailer park?
¿Cuánta gente vive en la comunidad de Forest View?
Ahorita las personas se han ido por muchos, ¿cómo se llama? Por la condición de su casa. Solamente ahorita no tengo exactamente un estimado, pero cuando comenzamos esto eran 70 niños. Bueno, con todos los de los de primaria y del otro grado, eran como 150 niños o un poquito más cuando comenzamos la asociación.
So a lot of people have left because of the deteriorating conditions of the homes, and I don't have a estimate at the moment as to how many people live there. But when it first began, there was 150 kids in this community.
Whoa.
Ahorita creo que estamos 69 trailers habitables, eran 155 antes.
So at the moment, there are only 69 trailers that are habitable, but there used to be 155.
Wow.
Okay. Y como les iba diciendo, I'm sorry.
No.
Como les estaba diciendo, mi vecindario es un lugar que amo, nos conocemos todos, nos ayudamos todos. Hay personas mayores. Estamos luchando por este proyecto, por ellos, por los niños, porque los niños merecen tener un hogar digno, y las personas mayores también. Y conozco muchas personas que han vivido más de 30 años en este lugar. Entonces es una lucha muy constante, y sobre todo lo hacemos más por los adultos y los niños.
Okay, so like I mentioned before, I really love my neighborhood and my community. This is a place where everyone helps each other and everyone knows each other. There's a lot of kids and senior citizens, and a big reason that we want to do this work is because the kids who live there deserve a place of dignity to live in. And I know some people who have lived there for more than 30 years. So this is a constant fight that we have to do, and the biggest reason is we're doing this for the people and the residents who live there.
We don't have a lot more time, and we still have to talk to Marcella, but I'm curious, what are the big asks? What are the big things that they're fighting for right now?
Dice, casi no tenemos mucho tiempo, pero todavía tenemos que hablar con Marcela, pero ¿cuáles son los pedidos? ¿Qué piden ustedes para estos problemas?
Nosotros luchamos, tocamos puertas, nos organizamos y logramos que se nos diera un lugar en la mesa con los desarrolladores. Tuvimos reuniones cada mes y por fin lo que nosotros queremos son casas de bajos recursos para las personas y sobre todo para los que viven en este lugar. Estamos luchando, se ganó los puntos, los proyectos, pero en este momento está estanqueado el proyecto porque los desarrolladores nunca habían trabajado con los vecinos, con personas. Es la primera vez que si se logra este proyecto, es la primera vez en la historia de Iowa que se haga algo así. Y ahora estamos preocupados porque los desarrolladores se han alejado y estamos organizando para ayudar. Nos hemos unido con los carpinteros para ayudar a reparar las casas que están muy deteriorados para poder soportar y que se queden las personas, porque es un sueño anhelado para muchas personas ser dueños de su propia casa.
Por supuesto, por supuesto. Oops.
And then so quickly, so we are constantly fighting, and one thing that we always wanted and we always asked for was a place at the table. And also we want to continue with this affordable housing for the people. The problem is that the development has been stalled ever since the developers got the green light to proceed with the development. We have lost contact with them, and so we are. Since the developers had never worked with the neighbors themselves and the residents, it has been very difficult for them to keep the contact between the two. But if we are able to succeed with this project and work alongside the developers, then it'll be the first time in Iowa that happens. So far we've helped organize the Tenants Association and the residents alongside the unions, the carpenters unions and labor unions in the state to be able to do these repairs. Because a lot of the homes are deteriorating, and we want these people to continue living in their homes because the dream of many of these people is to own their own homes, and we don't want that dream to be taken away.
Absolutely.
Y otra cosa, sobre todo queremos seguir luchando esto y seguir luchando por leyes que protejan a los inquilinos, renteros de trailers y de ¿cómo se llama? De apartamentos, porque no hay leyes que protejan a los inquilinos. Son muchas personas, los desarrolladores solo vienen y hacen su desarrollo y se van, ganan dinero y dejan a la gente sin casa, sin nada. Y vamos a volver estamos haciendo una cadena de todas las trailers, de los parqueaderos de trailers de todo el estado para volver otra vez a Des Moines para que aprueben leyes que protejan, porque el año pasado lamentablemente no pudimos ganar estas leyes, pero vamos a seguir luchando.
So we do want to keep fighting, and we want to keep fighting for laws that protect the tenants, because there are not very many laws, if any, that protect the mobile home residents or tenants of apartments. The developers a lot of the times can just come and leave a lot of the people with without anything. And so what we're doing is we're trying to connect mobile home residents all around the state to be able to organize again and to be able to take this to the Capitol in Iowa and demand that more protections are put on the residents so that we can have these protections for us.
Yes. So important to continue the struggle and create the laws that can make this happen. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias, Margarita. Su trabajo es muy importante por todas. Your work is really important for your whole community. Okay, Marcela, we need to hear your story. You've been very patient. Muchas gracias por tu paciencia con nosotras en eso. So, how are you, and Myra, why don't you translate this? How are you connected to the Worker Center? What is good for you here?
Usted, Marcela, ¿cómo está conectada al centro?
My name is Marcela Hurtado. I am president of the Center for Workers.
Oh, you're doing English. Gracias por el inglés.
No.
Apoyarte.
Only my presentation. I am founder of the center. I am mother. I have two younger. My younger is very involved in the center. They have a leader all the time. My daughter or my son make and the meetings. They helping every time. Y Mayra, tú me sigues lo demás.
Ok, está bien. En español está bien.
Nosotros tenemos 8 años trabajando en esta organización y nuestra misión es educar y empoderar a la comunidad. Y eso es algo que hemos estado haciendo con diferentes talleres para que nuestra comunidad conozca sus derechos en diferentes temas.
Okay, so we've had 8 years of working in this organization, and our mission is to educate and empower the community. And we want to educate the community to know their rights.
Nos hemos encontrado con diferentes barreras. En más es el idioma, porque hemos tenido reuniones que las hemos hecho en árabe, en español, en swahili. Entonces es bien complicado porque ustedes se dan cuenta, es el tiempo que se lleva la interpretación. Entonces, pero aún así hemos logrado muchísimas cosas. La comunidad viene y aprende y se va contenta porque aprendió algo que va a servirle para que pueda defenderse en la sociedad.
So we have encountered a lot of barriers, and one big barrier would be the language. We have held different meetings in Arabic, Spanish, Swahili, and it can get kind of complicated. But even through all of that, we have accomplished a lot. And the people who come are very happy to come because when they come here, they learn a lot of the things that will be useful to them for the long term. And a lot of these things they can use in order to defend themselves.
Otra de las cosas que hemos tratado de educar a la comunidad, y hablo de la comunidad blanca, es que entiendan a la comunidad inmigrante. Muchos piensan que todas las comunidades inmigrantes son iguales y no han entendido que hay una comunidad inmigrante que viene aquí y no tiene nada, no tiene ningún tipo de estatus, no tiene ningún tipo de beneficio, no tiene nada, está con una mano por delante y una mano por detrás. Hay otras comunidades, sí son inmigrantes, pero ellos vienen con un estatus, pueden venir, tener una licencia, poder estudiar, poder trabajar, poder pedir prestado dinero, poder acceder a varios tipos de ayudas, pero no todas las comunidades son iguales.
And one thing that we do is educate our white neighbors to understand the immigrant community and how a lot of the assumptions is that we're all the same, but that is incorrect. A lot of us have come here with, a lot of people who are immigrants come here who are able to get access to a lot of resources, and that's great. There's also the other part where people who come who are not able to get any access to these types of resources because of documents.
A raíz de esta pandemia nos demostró lo frágil que están todas las comunidades, pero más siempre es la que está más vulnerable, la comunidad que no tiene ningún tipo de ayuda, no califica para un cheque del gobierno, no califica para pedir préstamos locales o federales debido a su estatus. Entonces, estas comunidades son las que siempre están más vulnerables, las que debemos de proteger más y en la que trabajamos muchísimo con esta campaña que es de mi casa a tu casa.
So at the root of the pandemic, we discovered who really was the most vulnerable. And a lot of the most vulnerable are those who have no access to help or assistance from the government, who can't get a loan for something, who can't get unemployment. And so these are the communities that are the vulnerable communities that we protect and support, and also work a lot through our campaign From My Home to Yours.
En esta campaña trabajamos con las personas que no perdieron su trabajo y ellos pudieron calificar para un cheque, que pudieran donar de lo que les dieron algo para estas comunidades. Y fue bien increíble ver el corazón de estas personas, porque de personas individuales se recibió $135,000 de esas personas individuales, que fue para apoyar a estas personas que por X razón no pueden acceder a dineros federales o estatales o locales.
So this campaign worked with a lot of different people, and especially a lot of our allies in the community and just community members were able to donate their stimulus check. Some, $50, some a couple hundreds. Some people even donated their whole stimulus check to this program. And so from just individual donations from caring individuals of the community, we were able to raise $135,000. And all of this money went 100% to families who could not access the stimulus checks or any other government programs.
En total, hasta ahorita hemos repartido de dinero $185,000 y hemos ayudado a 345 familias. Y es increíble cuando las familias van por un cheque para renta o para comida o para sus servicios. La pregunta es, ¿a quién le doy gracias? Pues a las personas que tuvieron ese corazón de donar este dinero. Ellos toman una nota de agradecimiento, de decir gracias porque con este dinero voy a comer o voy a pagar mi renta o no me voy a preocupar porque me van a desalojar y dónde me voy con mis hijos. Entonces es increíble ver el agradecimiento de estas personas cuando ellos pueden tener ese tipo de ayuda.
So, so far we've been able to distribute $185,000 to families, and in total we've been able to help 345 families. So it's really incredible when these people who come get help with the rent, who use this money to help themselves pay rent or utilities. They always ask, who do I thank? And we say, well, the people who donated. We thank the people who donated this due to the kindness of their heart. So it's great to see the huge gratitude that these people, these recipients, express to those who donated the money to help.
Absolutely. I'm sorry, we've run out of time. What I have discovered is we must come back next time, I hope with a bus. But I am so touched by the work that you're doing to respond to the needs of the people and to make sure that people in your area have what they need, that wages are not stolen. I love the story of going to the restaurant and getting the restaurant owner to pay. I love the response, Bijou, to the derecho and to the work in the community to really respond to need. And Zubeida, I hope you will tell her I'm so grateful she was here to say her piece about the experience. Kamel, you're coming together and being helpful in that and making sure that you speak up for the community. That is fabulous. Margarita, your ability to be clear and to present your case and fight for laws. Ugh, that is so important for all of Iowa. Por todo de los, la gente en Iowa está importante a luchar para los leyes. Continúa, por favor. And Marcella, your capacity to speak clearly about the needs of the people and how the contributions, the donations of some support others, and to be the contact for gratitude. Gracias, gracias, gracias por tu capacidad para comunicar entre de los la gente con dinero y la gente que necesita ayuda. Perfecto. Gracias, Marcela. Es muy
One
importante.
thing that Marcella didn't say, she is a founder of the Center for Workplace Justice as well.
Ah, bravo. Gracias por todas. Mazahir, thank you for letting us know that. What an important work you all do together. And Myra, your capacity to both translate and do the work is amazing. Thank you. Mazahir, we're 2 minutes over, but do you have one last word that our listeners can hear?
No, thank you so much. I hope the listener can see how important this work, and hopefully you can visit our website and our Twitter and consider to donate as well. Thank you so much.
Good idea. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the road. See you in Iowa.
Yes, see you.